Hello, everyone. It is Monday. Oh, Basil, don't. Basil. All right. Basil, come here. There he is. All right. Well, that plan didn't go very well. I was hoping to film Basil in his more amusing mode of being upside down and quite happy, but he. It's like they detect the camera and they just decide, nope, I'm not going to be doing that now. So I will get to it. I wrote the very lengthy email to my state representative in my district, and I do hope that something does come of that. I have heard some really great things from other people about contacting her office, and it's of such vital importance that I take care of this issue very, very expediently because, as I've said again in the prior videos on this subject, I had an issue like this happen before with my disability and my health care, and it was 6 months before it was fixed, and it took just one single person, a very short explanation on the telephone, and she fixed it in a couple minutes. What took letter writing and explanations and just I don't want to be repetitive because I've done this in a prior video, but literally 6 months to sort out, and the right person, who the right worker, did it in a minute. And so what I would like to tell everybody is really basic stuff, but really important after you have dealt with potentially terminal illness and the recovery. I, like anyone, I had a really rough day today. I started, it started actually Sunday last night, and basically what happens is Saturday and Sunday, you can't really do the all day phone stuff where you're on hold and waiting, and then you talk to someone and nothing really comes of it, and you almost have a relief, even though your problem's still there. At least for a couple days, you don't have to deal with it because there's no one in the office, and you just can't. Unfortunately, the anxiety from that began last night, and when I woke up this morning, I realized, okay, it's Monday, and I'm in the same boat as I was before. So, what I would say to everyone, you have to dig down as deep as you can and find the energy, find the fight you have inside of you, and I'm sorry to put it this way, but just you have to say fuck them. And I don't mean anyone in particular by that. I mean just however you can get yourself motivated, pull it out of wherever you have to, and do get yourself moving. And today was one of the hardest days for me in months for doing that, because your mind can slip into a very easy spot of, how could this possibly be happening to me again? How could you possibly be dealing with something of this nature when you've beaten, or at least for now, I'm in remission, or they don't really have an exact diagnosis for me, because what I went through was extraordinary. I mean, you don't usually get a prognosis. I'm sorry, a diagnosis of pancreatic cancer and then have it go to stage 4, and then endure months, about a year plus more of chemotherapy, and then have a successful operation with an additional tumor removed from my liver. And really, it's just in the stage right now where you're in, as my doctor said, you're in uncharted territory. So losing disability at this point, or my insurance, I didn't even I didn't even think it was possible. I thought last time it was, due to a lot of factors that were just computer generated, and I think just flagged things, and it was a mistake. And now to see it happening again, it's it leaves you just so down. But the thing is, as I've said before, and I hope this means something to people who've had this situation. If you beat something like that, if you've survived that, and you have contended with um, looking death in the face for say 6 months in my case. I know there was about a 6 month period where, you know, everything that they were doing for me, and they being my oncologist and my surgeon and my nursing staff and everyone that helped me out, they really were doing so. But the outlook was, you have to get your affairs together, and sorry to say, but you just really don't have a lot of time. And once you've dealt with that, you can deal with anything. Trust me, you can deal with anything. You don't have anything that really could make you fear anything after that. And so, got myself together. I had a dental appointment, which was luckily quick and fairly painless. And then I wrote my letter to the state representative of Connecticut for my district, and I got that done. And it's 1:45 or something in the night, and I feel better. And I'm not going to say that some of that is not attributed to everyone's different personality. I mean, you may have, I'm a pretty positive person anyway, but these kind of things can make the most positive person just really feel just wow. Is You can actually get illogical, and just you start thinking, my God, or whatever you believe, or it's just a saying, is life actually against me? And then you have to sit back and say, my God, that is just nonsense. And it's not. Of course it isn't. It's Things happen to everyone, but sometimes in your life, it just piles up, doesn't it? It's just too much to bear. And you just have to get through that those hours or those days that you get down. And I am lucky enough to have had a great therapist over the last 8 years. And had I not, I don't think that the coping strategies that I have acquired, and that support, I don't think I would be anywhere close to dealing with the things mentally and emotionally that I have over this time. So big recommendation there is, for any problems you have, if you wake up every day and you're just not happy with your life, don't think that you're an exception and you just don't, rule out therapy. Now, it's not for everyone, and I'm not suggesting it is, but it just seems so simple to me that the day that I made that decision many, many years ago now, I just looked at my life and realized this is not living. I used to be a really, really happy person. And I realized, like I said, eight and a half, something like that, years ago, I could find the exact date that I first went. In fact, I may ask him this week when we have our video conference on Thursday. But you don't want to live your life that way. Life is so precious. And believe me, from my point of view and anyone's point of view, that after you've faced death, and you know that every moment that you have here is so precious. Don't waste time with constant unhappiness. Do whatever it takes to do something about it. It's my the advice I've given in a couple other videos, but it's worth saying again. Just go and try. And if the therapist that you see isn't right for you, go to another one. They're not offended by this. A good therapist will say, "Hey, listen, if you and I don't click, uh, go here's someone else, or go somewhere else." It's just do it. If you're unhappy every day of your life, there's no shame in it. It's the same thing as having a physical ailment. And I often encounter people that are in my life that I care deeply about, that I'm not going to mention by name because that's not fair. This video is not without their permission anyway, but they're horribly unhappy, and they're dealing with it in ways that are so detrimental to what they're doing. And they're either really just stuck in addiction, and sometimes that addiction is drugs and or alcohol, which I am by no means here to like preach anything about whether you should drink or not or anything like that. But when you're using it as your method of coping, it it never ever will lead you to the path of being better. I can promise you that. And what's odd about it, that you have to think to yourself, I've thought it, and I've thought it for everyone I've seen have this happen to them. Why do you think you're different than the hundreds and hundreds of thousands of millions of people who have lived before you and are living now? You're not. You're not an exception. You're just not. You're going down a road that is just really horrible for you. So, like I said, if that's your issue, please reach out to the people who care about you and get help. And for just depression in general, I don't know why in this day, in 2022, there should be no stigma attached to it. It just doesn't make sense that what we've learned scientifically about the chemicals in your brain, about all of the things that affect people, bipolar disease, um, different forms of long-term depression. Get help. It seems overwhelming. I know it does, but get it. And for me, it was therapy. And when I was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, I also was recommended by my physicians to go on a antidepressant, which I did. I You don't really know how much it does or does not affect you, but at that point in my life, when I was not sure I was going to be here, and you're thinking about having to say goodbye to everyone that you love and care about, and getting your affairs in order, I thought, why not? And I'll tell you what, I don't know that what percentage that helped, but I did it. And I may never know. Did it help me at all? Did it help me a little? Did it help me 50% of the time to wake up every day and have a little bit more positive outlook? I don't know. And you know what? I don't care. It was the right thing to do, and I assume in the future, when it's the right thing to do for me to stop taking it, I will. And I don't see any problem that anyone should have with that right now. But people still feel that they're being weak, or that oh, I'm not going to take any of that because it's all nonsense. But it isn't nonsense. I can assure you, it's just like the people I've mentioned in my other videos that I've known that decided physicians and modern medical care and science were nonsense. Well, they're dead. They're dead now. They wouldn't get any kind of actual physical help from an accredited, uh, you know, doctors who, physicians who have gone to medical school for this purpose. I mean, to think that they're witch doctors is what I keep hearing, and they're out to get you. Well, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, the I will concede this. Are there doctors who perhaps are have got into it for prestige or for financial gain? Maybe, probably. In fact, definitely. But if they're a good doctor and they save your life, who the fuck gives a shit why they got into it? I mean, if they're doing their job to the best of their ability, then it doesn't matter. You're being illogical when you think that these other things that you can do are going to cure what science shows that is only curable by scientific methods. Now, I think it's great if you have any other kind of therapies that you feel help you, that could either help you with relaxation, that in your own mind you believe may help you physically, and whatever that may be, that's great. But do it alongside your actual scientifically proven physical, from a doctor, an accredited real physician, because it's just, it's, I hate to get where I'm speechless like this, but it's so frustrating to watch people die that way. I mean, they didn't need to die. And no, everyone isn't saved by modern medicine, but we're learning every day. And I can assure everyone watching right now that had I gotten the diagnosis that I got 10 to 20 years prior to this, I would not be here speaking with you right now. My dad would not have lived uh, 12 to 13 years longer than he would have when his initial colon cancer had manifested. It just, they are making advances in these things all of the time, and to ever think that there's no hope, or that you put your hope in false nonsense, it's just terrible to watch. And I've watched a lot of people lose their lives and their loved ones that way. So, with that, I'm going to say I'm back on track. I'm ready to fight some more, because that's what you have to do. Don't fool yourself into thinking that anything stands still for you because you have a terminal or potentially terminal disease or anything like that, because you know what? Day-to-day life will knock you on your ass, and if you don't deal with it, it'll deal with you. And that's one of my big philosophies that I try to impart to people I care about. And I'd like to say to everyone out there, if change happens, no matter what you do, it's something we all fight. And boy, do I think of a lot of things that I used to do that I look back now, and you almost lose track of when did that stop happening. For a quick example, we all, meaning my cousin and myself and friends and girlfriend at the time, and whatever, we used to go whitewater rafting in Maine every year. And then you just realize one year that wow, we haven't gone. And then it becomes 2, and then 5, and then 10. And people's kids are going now because they're in their early 20s and whatever. So, don't let it happen to you. You do it. Change will happen. So why don't you change things? It sounds simplistic, but it's true. I mean, what would happen if I sat back? Oh, I got these letters and they're going to take my insurance away and I'm not going to have disability. Well, if I had sat back at the worst time in my life, excuse me, there's a lot of cat hair in this room. And I was in chemotherapy, I was sick. I was not able to, have any energy some of the time. I was preparing for a second surgery that could have ended my life on the table, or luckily didn't. I was having issues with the loss of family members, with my mother going into a long-term care facility with very bad problems with neglect and other issues that I don't want to go through in this video. And I found the energy to keep at it, and I kept calling the Social Security Administration. I kept calling and writing and explaining my situation. And it may have taken 6 months, but I got my disability returned to me, my back payments returned to me, and I did it because you have to find that anger or that frustration somewhere and turn it into something positive. So that's all I have to say tonight. I'm tired. I want to relax. Everyone, be good to one another whenever you can, including yourself, which is almost all the time. And I know it's like a broken record, but I have to say it. Be kind to animals always. They need us to look out for them. They are the best things that are out there, and they just give you so much more than we could ever give them. I mean, they give you everything. So with that, everyone have a great evening, and I wish you all well. Peace.